I am Reed, just a normal 27-year-old guy talking about building wealth and getting your life together in your 20s. So, let us talk about something that makes most people squirm. Net worth, seriously. It is like the financial boogeyman. Everyone avoids it. Everyone pretends it does not matter. But guess what? It is the absolute scoreboard of your financial life. And if you are ignoring it, if you are not tracking it, if you are not actively trying to improve it, you are losing big time. And you probably do not even realize it. Most people are stuck in this endless, exhausting loop, working their butts off for what they call a secure salary, thinking that is the golden ticket, thinking that is all they need. Spoiler alert, my friends, it is absolutely not. Your secure salary is probably silently stealing your future, slowly bleeding you dry, one unnecessary purchase at a time, one lifestyle creep after another. And here is a truth bomb that might sting a little, but someone needs to say it. Most ordinary people, the vast majority of us, will never get rich, and it is not because they are not working hard enough. Oh no, quite the opposite. Most people work incredibly hard. It is because they are playing the wrong damn game. They are chasing status, not true wealth. They are obsessed with instant gratification, not long-term sustainable freedom. They are focused on looking rich instead of actually being rich, and there is a monumental difference. Trust me on that one. For years, I was just like many of you, working, spending, not really putting much thought into the big picture, just grinding away, living for the weekend. But then something fundamental clicked inside my head, something that changed everything. I realized that every single dollar I earned, every single hour I spent earning it, was either actively building my future or actively destroying it. There was no neutral ground, and faced with that stark reality, I made a conscious, deliberate choice. I chose to build. I chose to fight for my future. So, at the ripe old age of 25 years old, my net worth hit just over $50,000 positive, a number that felt monumental at the time. Now, before you roll your eyes so hard they disappear into the back of your skull and think, oh, great, another rich kid flexing his inherited wealth. Let me stop you right there, please. I have never, ever had a six-figure job, not once in my life. No trust fund waiting for me. No inheritance miraculously appearing, no rich parents showering me with cash, nothing like that. Absolutely nothing. My net worth, every single hard-earned penny of it, comes from the excruciatingly boring, slow, deliberate stacking of money, from adopting a few brutal but ultimately brilliant financial habits, and from learning some incredibly hard, painful lessons along the way. And today, right here, right now, I am going to pull back the curtain for you. I am going to break it all down. Every painful, every glorious, every unglamorous detail. We are talking about exactly where that just over $50,000 came from, how I painstakingly built it up over the past few years, and crucially, what I am doing next to keep growing it, even on a pretty tight budget right now. Because let us be real, life happens. First things first, a quick refresher on what net worth actually is, because apparently this concept is still a mystery to far too many people. It is what you own, minus what you owe. That is it. Simple, straightforward math. Not some complex quantum physics equation, so you add up all your assets, all the stuff that has value, like the cash you have in the bank, your investment accounts, any savings you have diligently put away, maybe even a car if it is worth more than you owe on it. Then you subtract all your liabilities, all the stuff that you owe other people, all the things that drain your wallet and keep you tethered, like credit card debt, auto loans, student loans, mortgages. Anything that puts you in the red for me here is the current breakdown. And yes, I know it is going to sound painfully boring to some of you, but remember this golden rule: boring money is almost always good money. Exciting money usually means you are taking stupid risks. I have about $30,000 comfortably chilling in a high-yield savings account. That is my emergency fund, my sleep at night. Money, the foundation that allows me to take calculated risks, and my short-term goals fund. Always ready, always accessible. Then, there's about $6,000 diligently working away in my Roth IRA, which I only started last year, but I am aggressively working my butt off to max out every single year, because that tax-free growth in retirement is an absolute game changer, my friends, an absolute game changer, and another $25,000 comfortably sitting, compounding, and growing in my 401k, thanks to the magic of employer contributions and consistent investing. Now for the liabilities, because we have to be honest about those too, I am currently subtracting about $15,000. For my auto loan, a necessary evil for transportation, but one I am actively working to pay down as fast as humanly possible. Thankfully, zero credit card debt, and that, my friends, is a non-negotiable. Credit card debt is a one-way ticket to Brokeville, a financial black hole. Avoid it like the plague, seriously. And finally, about $10,000 floating around in my checking and other readily accessible savings accounts. Just enough for everyday life, bills, and a little buffer. Add it all up meticulously, honestly, and you get about $56,000, a number I am damn proud of. Not because it is huge, but because it represents years of intentional choices. Years of delayed gratification, years of strategic planning, not some stroke of luck or inherited privilege. Now, how did I actually get there? You ask, was it some secret stock tip that only I knew about, a lucky lottery ticket, a hidden treasure map. Nope, nothing so dramatic, nothing so exciting. Because real wealth building rarely is. I did not get here overnight. I did not wake up one day and suddenly have $56,000. I got here by consistently, relentlessly, almost obsessively saving my money little by little over a long, boring, incredibly incremental period of time. It was a marathon, not a sprint. I started taking savings seriously around 2018 when I was a fresh-faced 18-year-old just starting out in the real world. Think about that for a second. 7 whole years ago, I started really looking at how I was spending my money and, more importantly, how I wanted to save my money, how I wanted to shape my financial future. Back then, I was working a full-time job, a decent entry-level gig, making about $18 an hour, which for an 18-year-old was pretty good. But here's the absolute kicker, the game changer. That particular job allowed me to work an insane amount of overtime, and I took advantage of every single hour. So I was consistently bringing home around $800 a week as an 18-year-old kid with virtually no expenses. Now, let us be real here for a second. An 18-year-old does not need $800 a week. Not unless they are trying to buy a small tropical island or fund a personal space program. I could comfortably live off about $200 a week easily. I mean, I was living at home, my expenses were practically zero, so every single week, like clockwork without fail, I would save $600 of my precious paycheck. I would just automatically transfer it into a separate savings account. No thought, no hesitation, no agonizing decision making. It was just gone out of sight, out of mind. Straight into my future fund. I did that, my friends, for almost 4 straight years, building up a massive, beautiful pile of liquid cash, just sitting there compounding, waiting for its next mission. It was not glamorous, it was not exciting, there were no viral TikTok dances involved, but it was incredibly, incredibly effective, and that is what matters. Over the past couple of years, now that I have a solid base, I have started taking investing more seriously, putting that hard-earned money to work, making it generate more money, because that is how you truly win. But the main bulk of that net worth, that initial $56,000, it came from simply saving my money consistently, relentlessly, ruthlessly, like a financial ninja. Again, I need to emphasize this. I was 18. I did not have the massive expenses that many adults face. I did not need to spend $800 a week. I know for many of you watching right now, $1,000 a week might be just enough to survive, to cover rent, groceries, transportation, and your situation is likely very different from mine. I absolutely get that. But the fundamental principle, the core truth remains the same. You have to find a way to live below your means, significantly below your means. If you ever want to get ahead financially, if you ever want to build real wealth, I lived on about $200 a week from 18 to 23. While working that full-time job, I mean, I literally lived at home for most of my early 20s, which gave me an incredible advantage, so I had all that precious time. All that freedom from major expenses to just sit there and stack cash like a squirrel preparing for winter. I was saving about 80% of my paycheck, 80% that is not a typo, that is not an exaggeration, that was my reality. And here is another absolute game changer when it came to my savings. And I have mentioned this in my previous videos, I automated everything, every single bit of it. As soon as the money hit my account, a huge predetermined chunk of it was instantly transferred out into savings, into investments, into my future. I did not have to think about it. I did not have to look at it. I did not have to agonize over whether to save or spend. The decision was already made. The money was already gone, working for me. That, my friends, is the absolute secret sauce to consistent saving. Automation, take the decision making out of it, remove the temptation, remove the opportunity for your weak, impulsive brain to sabotage your financial goals. The next crucial step, I built a budget that works specifically for me. Not some generic TikTok budget that promised riches overnight, not some YouTube guru's complicated spreadsheet that did not fit my life. I sat down, looked at my actual personal finances, my actual lifestyle, my actual spending habits, and I asked myself very honestly, okay, how can I afford this? What can I cut? Where can I optimize? I do not drink. I do not have a ton of expensive extracurricular activities or hobbies that drain my bank account, so I could comfortably live on a pretty low weekly income and save the rest. It was a deliberate choice to prioritize my financial future over fleeting pleasures. Now, $50,000 at 25. As a net worth, let me be crystal clear. This is not a flex. I am not trying to show off. I am not trying to make anyone feel bad if you think I am flexing. You have missed the entire damn point of this video. Completely. All it is for me is a significant milestone, a solid foundation, a tangible representation of years of consistent effort. It is a number that gives me options, it gives me breathing room, it gives me a sense of security that is invaluable right now. For example, I am actually working part-time, and let us be honest, I am not making great money at the moment, but that $50,000 net worth allows me to breathe. It allows me to know that financially I am still doing good, I am still moving forward. Even when my active income is lower, it gives me peace of mind. It gives me the freedom to pursue opportunities that might not pay immediate dividends, but have massive long-term potential and for my next goals, because you always have to have a target, right? I am aggressively aiming to hit $100,000 net worth by the age of 28. That is 3 short years from now, effectively doubling my current net worth. And I truly believe it is completely achievable with consistent effort, smart investing, and unwavering discipline. My other major financial goal is to max out my Roth IRA every single year without fail. For those who might not know, when you are under 59 and a half, you can currently contribute $7,000 a year into your Roth, getting that sweet, sweet tax-free growth in retirement. Right now, I am about $2,400 in for the year, and we are about 5 months into the year. So I am a little behind the ball on that. I admit it, but I am pushing hard to max it out, even if it feels like a stretch, because that future tax-free income is worth fighting for. And here's another incredibly painful but incredibly valuable lesson I learned: minimizing risk, especially the self-inflicted, completely avoidable kind. I have what you might call a car problem. I love cars. I really genuinely do. I am a petrolhead at heart. I had a Subaru WRX that I fully built, poured countless hours and thousands of dollars into customizing it, only to eventually sell it. Then, not learning my lesson, I bought a BMW, fully built that too, spent even more money, even more time, and then eventually sold that one too. I was constantly trying to figure out where I could save money, where I could be more financially disciplined, but then I was simultaneously pouring thousands upon thousands of dollars into rapidly depreciating assets. It was an absolute financial insanity, a complete contradiction after the Subaru. I lost about $10,000 on it, just gone. Vanished into thin air, a brutal lesson in depreciation. Then the BMW, another $15,000 down the drain, teaching me the same painful lesson again and again, because if you know anything about the car game, when you start spending money on cars and pouring modifications into them, you are not increasing their value, you are actively driving it straight into the ground. It is a money pit, a black hole. Then, in a moment of what I thought was pure genius, a moment of trying to be responsible while still indulging my car addiction, I went and bought a Tesla, thinking it would be a smart move. Environmentally friendly, cutting edge, ended up losing a whole bunch of money on that too. And yes, you guessed it, I sold it, another painful lesson. Another chunk of my net worth gone. Finally, I ate my ego, I swallowed my pride, I surrendered to common sense, and I bought a little Jeep, a humble, practical Jeep. And you know what? I absolutely love my Jeep. It is the cheapest monthly payment I have ever had since I was 18 years old. I am happy with it, and more importantly, I am now able to save all that money that I was previously wasting, burning on cars, and invest that money instead, putting it to work for my future, not for some fleeting adrenaline rush. That, my friends, is the crucial difference between being smart with your money and just blindly throwing it away on depreciating assets and unnecessary luxuries. It is the difference between building wealth and staying stuck. So this was just a quick little video about my net worth journey.